and you realize that the secret is
Gratitude Thursdays. Maria on the mic. Yo, yo. Gratitude galore. That is how we roll. Yo, 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 yo. Grateful for all, even when it's small. Yo, 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 yo. Blessings some more. Gratitude in store. Yo, 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 yo. Gratitude galore. Welcome aboard. Yo, yo. Welcome aboard.
hey, 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 what's up, Gratitude Buddies? It's a girl, Maria, back with another episode. And if this is your first time here, welcome to our little family. I know I'm a little bit late to release the episode, but hey, better late than never. Maniaji. Anyway, so the main focus of this episode is still on the self, because of late I've been so inclined to focus on ourselves, on the individual self, because I believe that the relationship we have with ourselves impacts the ones we have with others, the people around us, and the people we associate with on a daily basis. And the main focus of today is a very, very important aspect, which is self forgiveness. I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, but we've never really gone deep, dived deep into it. And today we'll be doing that. And first, it's important to understand what is self forgiveness. I know the term is self explanatory, means forgiving oneself, but what is it specifically? I would say self forgiveness is being kind and compassionate with oneself, especially when we have made mistakes, and treating ourselves with the love that we give to others when they have made mistakes. It's being, it's not disapproving that we've made a mistake, but treating ourselves with compassion, with kindness, and telling ourselves, yeah, even though you messed up, there's still another chance. This is not the end. There's still more opportunities for you to rectify the mistake. And today we won't be going into the benefits or what. I'll be sharing a personal experience that inclined me to make this episode, to make self forgiveness the focus of this episode. And I will share an experience that occurred on Tuesday. Today is Saturday, so it occurred on Tuesday, and it was around 7:40 a.m. I had woken up about an hour earlier. I was still in my sleeping robe, but I'd washed my face, and I found myself sitting in front of the mirror. And this is a practice that I enjoy doing. I purpose to look at myself in the mirror frequently, but busy life makes me forget. So this particular day, I found myself looking at myself in the mirror, and I was just there admiring myself, saying, "Oh, Maria, you're so beautiful," sending those positive affirmations, jazzing myself up. And then, out of the blue, I began saying, "I forgive you, Maria. I forgive you for all the things that you've done." I mentioned the specific things, but I I just focused on forgiving myself for those things. And when I was trying to say I forgive you, Maria, for this and this, a thought crossed my mind, and the thought was, Maria, you have never apologized to yourself. Like that was so eye-opening for me because it got me like, wait, when someone makes a mistake, before I forgive them, mostly they come and apologize to me and say, "Oh, Maria, I'm sorry I did this to you." And then I'll be like, "Okay, it's fine. I forgive you." And when it comes to myself, I realized that I've never really apologized to myself. I mostly focus on forgiving myself. I forgive you for this, I forgive you for this. But I've never really said, "Yo, Maria, I'm sorry for putting you through all the shit I've put you through." And realizing this made me change the mood and be like, let me apologize to myself. And this, I apologize for myself. I apologize to myself for two mistakes that have been weighing me down lately, where I've been struggling to let go, to forgive myself for the things that I did. But to some point, when I say I forgive you, the the issue kept on lingering to some point where I'm like, okay, I forgive myself for this. I told myself, yo, Maria, I forgive you for this. But after all that, I still find myself being sad when I remember the event, when I remember, oh, you did that. That was so bad. How could you do that? Now, back to the mirror, I said, rather than focusing on forgiving myself, why not begin by apologizing to myself? And I looked at the mirror. I was literally talking to myself because I'm imagining the person in the mirror is someone, is we are having a conversation in them, and I was like, Baby Maria, I'm sorry for doing this and this. I'm sorry for doing this and this. I was so specific on the details of what I did. There were two mistakes, so I first focused on the first mistake and went deep into it. I apologized to myself for exactly what I did, exactly what I've been saying. I forgive you for doing this. I went deep into it and said, you know what, Maria, I apologize for doing this and this. I shouldn't have put you through this and this. And while I was apologizing to myself, I started, I got teary. My eyes got teary to the point that my right eye started to cry. But my left eye was not crying, but it had some balancing tears. And I was just there, just saying, yo, I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for putting you through this. I'm sorry for this and this and this and this. And the crying just got deeper and deeper, just with one eye, mind you. It's my right eye. It was only my right eye crying. And after saying, I'm sorry, I started saying, I looked at myself and said, oh, Maria, I forgive you. And I was still crying while saying this. With one eye, I was still crying, but I felt some form of relief just telling myself, I forgive you for doing this and this and this and this. And to some point, I stopped crying. I started smiling because I felt so happy that I have learned that I can apologize to myself and then forgive myself at the same time. And because in the past, I was mostly focused on stuff and never really apologizing. So it was just such an eye-opening moment, just made me happy to the point that I began thinking about the mistakes and saying, yeah, what did I learn from this mistake? I learned this and this, I learned this and this. And at the end of the process, I looked at myself. I was so happy looking at myself in the mirror, smiling, laughing at the occurrences. And after that, I was like, oh, that was really interesting, and I need to share it with my listeners, with my viewers. And after all that, after the event, after everything, I still remembered the mistakes I'd done, but funny thing, this time I didn't remember them with a frown on my face. Rather, I was smiling and laughing. And to this point, I'm still laughing at them. When I remember the mistake, I just laugh. It doesn't hurt me anymore. It doesn't make me feel like, yo, why did you mess up that? And now, based on this experience, I feel that our weekly activity should focus on this. And today, I'll not recap last week's activity. I think we should do that next week because today I want us to focus on self forgiveness. I want that to be the theme of this episode, not going back to last week, no. Just strictly focusing on self forgiveness. And this week's activity is different. It still involves journaling, but journaling in a different way. So this is what we will do. We'll every day we sit in front of the mirror with our journal, with our gratitude journal. We look at the mirror and think about one mistake that is weighing us down that makes us feel like, yo, I'm not I'm not good enough. I really messed up that I really can't get get back or bounce back from that mistake. And think about it and just apologize to yourself for doing whatever you did. Just say, I'm sorry for doing this and this to you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry for lying to you or for lying to someone which led me into trouble. You just anything that is weighing you down currently. And after you apologize to yourself, you forgive yourself, and then after which you go to your journal and say, I forgive you, Maria, for dash, 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 dash. And you share with me your feedback and tell me how you felt. Just apologizing and forgiving yourself for the thing that has been disturbing you for the longest time that you thought, oh, this is now my life. I'll just forever live with that mistake. And you realize that the secret is apologizing, just saying sorry. It really makes a big change. And I want us to focus on the mistakes that are affecting us. If the mistake you did long time ago, you forgot about it, it doesn't even bother you. Yeah, leave it in the past. I'm talking about current mistakes that are like, oh, that are weighing you down, that are making you feel like, is this life really worth it? Why am I like this? That is making you question your worth. Those are the mistakes that you should focus about. And next week, I won't share mine because who wants to air their mistakes out in public? But I'll give an idea of what I felt doing that, and I hope that the activity will help you forgive yourself because if you are genuinely forgiving to yourself, it will be easier to forgive others because you know, oh, they're human. They made a mistake. Nobody's perfect. Nobody does. No, there's no one who doesn't make mistakes. And I would like to conclude on that note and tell you that thank you so much for tuning in. And I want to give a big shout out to my 23 subscribers. I love you so much and thank you so much for supporting me. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like, comment, share so that this episode reaches more people. And I want to wish you a lovely week filled with love and gratitude. And until next week, gratitude buddies. Bye bye.